I've been painting every fence I know, every color pleasing to the same.
Let's get that notification out there so everybody can see it.
Huzzah!
This song slaps.
Does it slap the bass?
It is slapping fat bass.
As well it should. Sandra's in the chat.
I see Sandra in the chat. What up, Sandra? I felt my phone, but I can't see my phone. Oh, there it is. Okay.
You felt it, but you can't see it. Tell me more.
It vibrated.
Ah.
Somebody has signed into your Lego account. Yeah, because I signed into it on my iPad, so I have instructions on the table now.
Crazy.
Also, I love that I don't have to have my phone on here. I can technically use my phone as a camera now.
Ooh. Foot cam coming soon.
Funny enough, the iPhone 17 has a feature where you can dual cam mode, and it'll give you your what's in front of you and what's in, like on the table in front of you.
Interesting.
It's kind of cool. So then, like, because it somehow angles the camera down so you can see what's in front of you. So, like, technically, I could actually set up my phone as a camera in front of me, and it'll also look down at the Lego that I'm building.
Huh.
It's a pretty cool feature. I haven't tried it because I haven't had my phone to do that, but like now that I have this Fitbit, I can do that.
Gotta support those AI data centers.
I know, right? Didn't realize the next song started. So let's get this going, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to start the show.
There you go.
I did that on purpose.
Distance nerding.
Yeah, it doesn't match at all. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Again,
I was scared for a second. Just scared.
I'm just messing with everybody today. What up, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy. It's time. It is Thursday. It is time for Distance 30 interviews. We are getting ready to hopefully do an interview here, but at the same time, if we don't, we've got backup plans as well as all the fun things that are going on. Guys, I'm juiced. I don't know about you, Gray.
You're juiced. You're on the roids.
Do I not look like that? I am.
Yeah.
Look at me.
I know. You're a beast. You're a beast.
Beast like X-Men. All right, so you guys have seen me with the muscle shirt on, and everybody always has comments. But what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is time for that fun DN time. I am your boy, Young Phil. That is the beard attached to the graveyard, or the graveyard attached to the man.
Sure, man. Let's go with man.
The cryptid that is graveyard.
There you go. There you're rarely seen in public anymore.
It's because you're usually filming movies. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Distance 30 Interviews. Again, we have a backup plan if our guest does not show up here today. But with that being said, let's talk about sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen, this show and everything that we do here is brought to you by the good folks over at Debbie. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Debbie is a brand of energy drinks created to help focus concentration reaction time with no jitters or crash. Debbie contains no maltodextrin, no sugars, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. Find out more about Debbie at www.debbie.gg. Use the code nerding10 and get 10% off your order. Delicious, nutritious, tastes just like chicken.
But not dill pickle flavored yet?
No.
We will.
No, I prefer not.
I mean, come this Christmas, maybe there'll be an entire box of dill pickled flavored things.
Oh my god, dude! If a box of dill pickled flavored things show up at my door, one, I'm gonna know it's you. Two, I'm gonna be absolutely pissed off because you know the rule. That means holiday show. I have to eat that shit. So I mean, like, you guys may actually see me vomit for once on a holiday special.
Every time I go get gas, I go into the gas station, I see like 10 things that are all pickled flavor. I just think of young Phil.
Yeah, I bet you do. I see those dill pickle flavored things too, and I think of Tyler.
He likes to hide the pickle?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Hidden pickle in your Malort, though. That's disgusting.
Oh my god. I saw something that I had to send to Ming Chen. I should have probably sent it to you too. But the minute I saw it, I was like, that is, oh no, you know what it was? For 4th of July. Jepson's put out a video of them. Have you ever seen people make boozy watermelon?
Yes. So
they did a boozy watermelon with 4 bottles of Malort.
That sounds disgusting.
It is absolutely disgusting because they cut the holes in the watermelon and then poured Malort into it. And I was just like, oh, that is, oh. And I had to send it to Ming Chen. I was just like, no. He texted me back, was like, no, that's a no. He goes, even I wouldn't go that far.
Hey, you know what? If you want to make sure no one stays at your party, that's what you do. Watermelon.
Yeah.
What makes this watermelon taste better? How about burning tires?
That is so gross.
That's that if you never want to be invited again, that's what you do.
And I just no at Ming Chen, and he goes, no. Like, no, none of us want that. Nobody wants that. Not a person. Not a person wants that.
You know what we should do instead of hot ones? Hot Malort.
Oh, that's even worse. Hot Malort? That is disgusting.
And it's just different varying intensities of Malort. So you have something you can barely taste it up to the shot of watermelon Malort.
Nope. No.
Ooh.
Nope. We're not doing that.
Malort the bomb hot sauce.
Oh, God, that just sounds bitter and disgusting.
The bomb is bitter and disgusting as it is. It might make it better. Don't know.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump into the shoe. We're gonna get this in here. So because we have no guest yet, and I mean this can change at any moment if he ends up coming on, or you know, when things like this happen, I tend to get emails at like 7:30 and like, oh my god, is it too late?
It's 8:16. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, what we're gonna do on the pivot here, we're gonna talk some X-Men 97. Oh, actually, nope. There it is. There he is. Okay. I teased, and the teased was incorrect. All right, ladies and gentlemen, just in time. Let's do this real quick here. So let me turn this down. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're welcoming a guest who spent years helping bring fans together through a shared love of giant monsters, classic sci-fi, and unforgettable movie experiences. As the co-host of the Planet 8 podcast and a driving force behind Bay Area film events and Godzillafest, he's helped build a community where fandom comes to life both behind the microphone and on the convention floor. Whether you're a lifelong kaiju fanatic or just discovering the world of Godzilla, get ready for a fun conversation about podcasting, event planning, and what it takes to keep genre fandom thriving. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, Bob Johnson.
Hey,
How's it going, Bob?
can you guys hear? I can't hear you guys for some reason.
I don't think he heard any of that intro.
What's going on here?
No.
I may have to redo the intro just so he can hear it once you get him on.
Yes.
The chat is going nuts right now.
I can't hear you at all.
Can't hear us at all. Okay.
So,
let's see if we can get this.
I'm looking at.
Just want to make sure he can see that.
Speaker test works, but
Can you hear us at all?
Sounds like he's got the audio going, but
okay.
I can hear the audio test.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
All right, now I can hear you.
Oh. Yay!
Oh, man. I don't know what the heck was going on, but
technology and its everlasting way of trying to make us all hate technology. All right.
Yeah, I spent 40 years setting up broadcast studios, so you'd think I could figure this out, right?
I'm an audio engineer, so I get that, man.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna redo the intro here. The audience got to hear it, but we're gonna redo it because I wrote it for you. So
okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, take two. Tonight, we're welcoming a guest who spent years helping bring fans together through a shared love of giant monsters, classic sci-fi, and unforgettable movie experiences. As the co-host of the Planet 8 podcast and the driving force behind Bay Area film events and Godzillafest, he has helped build a community where fandom comes to life both behind the microphone and on the convention floor. Whether you're a lifelong kaiju fanatic or just discovering the world of Godzilla, get ready for a fun conversation about podcasting, event planning, and what it takes to keep genre fandom thriving. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the incredible Bob Johnson.
Thank you.
There we go, man. So yes, welcome to Distance Nerding, man. So before we jump into everything that we're going to get into here tonight, we always start off the show with this question. We have a segment on the show called Growing Up Geeky. What did you geek out on as a kid?
Probably the same things I geek out on now. Yeah, a very long time ago, since I'm an old man. I guess the first sci-fi movie I ever saw was The Fly.
Yes.
Like the original, like the old
Vincent
David
Price.
Hedison, Vincent Price Fly. And that kind of hooked me. I was over at a friend's house. He's like, "Oh, you got to see this movie." And we checked it out. And it was cool. And then I was at his house again, not too long after that. And he goes, "Well, this is the movie you got to check out." And it was at the time Godzilla versus the Thing. And so that was like my introduction to Godzilla. And I was probably like 8, 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still young.
So, you know, from there, it just kind of grew like crazy. I was lucky enough to grow up in the San Francisco Bay Area,
which is where I'm from. So I'm
there
with
you
you
go.
there.
Because we had a lot of like Japanese grocery stores. We had Japantown. We had, you know, Japanese video stores and things, in addition to all the other stuff. But we would go to Japantown. We'd buy like Uchusen magazine, which big row of those right here. And in the back, even like some of the animation mags, Japanese fans would print their addresses in English because they wanted pen pals in the United States.
Right.
Oh,
So that's how we got our media back then. We would trade VHS and Betamax tapes with fans in Japan. So we'd send them, Star Trek or $6 Million Man or Battlestar Galactica or whatever. And then they'd send us, anything from Ultraman to Mazinger Z to, Godzilla films and whatever else was playing at the time. So, it wasn't as easy as just streaming something. It was like, you had to go.
Right.
You had to get a physical package in the mail with a bunch of tapes in it and say, "Oh boy, I got stuff to watch tonight."
That's how I got into anime. Like literally
Yeah.
exactly that is going to Japantown and picking up manga and watching anime and everything like that, because that was the only way to get it back then. Like, at least back in the late 80s, early 90s, it was.
Oh yeah, definitely. And back then there was the Cartoon Fantasy Organization that Fred Patton ran, and they were on us to start a Northern California chapter, and we didn't want to deal with it, but we'd get tapes from them, and we put on Japanese fantasy film fairs, which were like really little tiny little shows, and then show whatever animation we got a hold of. And I know the Cartoon Fantasy Organization one time sent us the Gatchaman movie. Okay. And this thing was like 9th generation VHS, flagging at the top and glitching through the movie. No subtitles, of course, all just in Japanese. Right. And we loved it. It's like, wow, this is great. And, decades later, I was in like a Fry's and I saw the Gatchaman movie on Blu-ray on the shelf. I'm like, holy, this is like a grail.
Yeah.
And watching it on Blu-ray was like a religious experience because I was used to all the snow and everything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's like crazy to be able to and I mean, like, it's nuts now to be able to see like how these fandoms have grown in just a massive scale.
Oh yeah,
and
definitely.
Just remember being a part of that group of people who were lucky enough to be able to go see it before it was the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then just again seeing how much other people enjoy the things that you enjoy.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I was just telling someone the other day that we used to go down to Chinatown to watch Jackie Chan movies.
Yeah.
Because no one over here knew who Jackie Chan was. And so we'd go watch him in the Chinese movie theaters, whether it's the 4-star or whatever. And, we'd go up and buy tickets and, you'd have someone at the ticket counter. How did you hear about this? Why you watch this? And it's like, well, it's what we're into.
Yeah. It's I do a horror movie review, and like growing up in the late 80s, early 90s and stuff, like so much movies were put, even in America, just record straight to VHS, and the only way you got to see it was if you knew someone that made a copy of it, because you couldn't go to your local mom and pop shop that they weren't going to have it. But it's just, you just think about how much like sci-fi and horror and all movies have been lost over time that showed once on one weekend in some town in middle USA, never to be seen again.
Right.
Yeah, no,
it's it was amazing how you'd find things back then, and even little art houses you'd go to. I was telling someone there's the Laurel Theater. It used to be in San Carlos.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there one night for a double feature of Todd Browning's Freaks and Eraserhead.
Ooh.
Now, if that wasn't a double feature, I don't know. But
it's the best double feature right there.
Yeah, it was just bizarre. But back then it was like, that's the only way you're going to see it. So you had to go and grab it in the theater or whatever.
My kids have gotten very, very spoiled by being able just to pretty much watch whatever they want whenever they want to watch it. And it's just like, no, like, there's these things, like they knew what DVDs were, but like I have a big collection of laser discs.
Oh, yeah.
And they're like, what's that? I'm like, it's a giant DVD. but from the 70s.
I mean, yeah, that's literally exactly how you can describe that. They were giant DVDs.
Right.
Yeah.
And kind of like in the middle of the movie. Wait a second, let me flip this over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I splurge on mine. I have the one that's automatically flips and reads both sides.
There you go. Yeah.
But I've noticed that like even like what I've been thinking about collecting the Godzilla movies on Laserdisc, and they're still rare in the United States, like to have English subtitles on it.
Yeah. And now it's like everybody wants the old dubs that we used to watch, but Toho doesn't let them go out and see the light of day anymore. So
yeah,
I was like, I guess we were kind of lucky back then in that regard because we had better dubs. But
right. And I remember my first knowing anything about Godzilla was because of Mystery Science Theater 3000 in the early 90s. Their first season was mostly Godzilla and Gamera movies. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. And then trying to figure out how to watch them, even late 80s, early 90s, was hard to do because I don't have a Chinatown or Japanese area I was able to go to and find it. So it's just like happen to have a friend who had like one copy of it.
Yeah. Which, funny enough, I'm going to be seeing Joel Hodgson this weekend, man. So it's like,
oh, there you go.
Yeah. The old Midwest boy.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to. Tower Records was a godsend at the time.
Yes, yeah.
They used to get a lot. That's where I got a lot of my Godzilla soundtracks on CD because they used to carry that. And they also had a Japanese import section of the record, in the records section. Mm-hmm. And you go and look through the Japanese imports, and it's like, ooh, there's Godzilla 85. Ooh, there's whatever. But
so I got to ask, as a fellow local to San Francisco, which Tower Records was your Tower Records?
For me, it depends. I would go to either San Francisco or Mountain View.
Okay. Stonestown was mine.
So okay. Yeah, we used to, like, in college, we'd go down every Monday. We have like a half day, and we go down to Comics and Tower Records.
Yep.
And splurge.
Yeah. Yeah, our area here, we only had like Suncoast that were able to get all the imports too, but they were like $50 per tape.
Well, I remember there was a video store down the street from me, and this was like when videotapes were first coming out, and companies would charge premium for videotapes because they knew that, like Blockbuster, whoever would buy them to rent.
Yeah.
So, I remember ordering the Mysterians. I had the guy order Mysterians for me on Betamax, and it was like $85.
Yeah.
And if you want to go back further than that, the Sears catalog at one point had, I think it was like 3/4-inch videotape or something. It was like, this VCR that was like the size of a console stereo. It was like huge. And they only had like 3 movies available, but one of the movies was Mothra. And back then it was like, wow, if I could watch Mothra anytime I wanted to, but it was like, a couple grand for the player and, $100 and something for the videotape and whatever. So,
yeah. I once debated getting an 8mm, player here, but my wife's like, you can't start collecting that stuff. That stuff's expensive. Like, it is.
I had a bunch of the Super 8 films and that.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Had a little screen on the wall in my bedroom and a shelf with a old Super 8 projector, and sit there and watch 8-minute versions of whatever movie. The black and white silent 8-minute versions, and it was like, wow, this is great.
Oh yeah, it's funny because I make independent horror films, and I'm working on something called Decades of Horror, and we made a 8-minute silent 1920s style horror movie a couple weeks ago. And it kind of goes into it. Like, I don't think you can really appreciate where cinema is now without going back the past 100 years to see how we got here.
Yeah, I mean, I tell these old stories to people and they don't even believe me. It's like, why didn't you just stream it?
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, were you kind of always, after you watched, the Fly, is
Yeah.
that kind of like you just became the sci-fi guy then?
Sci-fi fly guy. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we were lucky enough here to we had like Creature Features with Bob Wilkins,
Mm-hmm.
and we had the Chiller Dealer matinee and the Friday night drive-in movie, and we had the Ghoul on here for a couple of years from Cleveland, and yeah, it was just you'd like get either the TV guide or you get the Chronicle, which had the date book that had a little TV section in it, and you just jump in there and circle all the monster movies and sci-fi films and stuff that were playing for that week. And if you're really lucky, they'd have a little picture from one of them. You sit there, cut it out, in a scrapbook. But yeah, that was, and it was great. If you had like the 3:30 movie, and they've got Monster Week, and they'd show a bunch of movies, for the week. But
yeah.
Did
you always have, once you got the VCR, start recording the movies off the TV like we all did?
Yeah, well, a friend of mine got a VCR before I did, and he had a Betamax. So I had to buy a Betamax tape because Channel 2 had Godzilla versus Megalon on, and I had him record that for me.
Yeah,
I think I still have that tape in my basement.
Really?
Nice.
I've got a whole shelf full of videotape that. Yeah, I used to. A friend of mine used to work at Tsuburaya Productions in Japan, so he would send me episodes of different Ultraman series, and of course they're all out on Blu-ray now. But I can't throw the tapes away because at the end of the tape, because you put like 4 episodes on a tape and you've got maybe 15, 20 minutes left at the end.
Yeah,
and he'd stick like 8mm video that someone took on the set of Ultraman Gaia or whatever. And so there's like clips at the end of these tapes. So it's like, I would have to, if I wanted to, I would have to like get all these tapes out and forward towards the end and queue them up and then transfer them over to a DVD or something. And but it's just, there's just a lot of cool stuff. And they are, like a bunch of commercials, or something like that at the end.
Right.
So,
but then you have like a lot of stuff there that like that would be like hard to get here.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah. And once in a while, like we were doing a show at the Castro Theater in San Francisco, and Bill Longan was the programmer there, and he used to edit the movies for Creature Features and for Channel 2.
Really?
And whenever Channel 2 would have like a Giants game or something and it would end early and they've got like 10, 15 minutes to fill, they'd show like behind the scenes of some movie and making of Planet of the Apes, whatever it was. That all came from Bill. He was known as Uncle Bill the Trailer King. And he had released all these trailers on tape, is what they were called. And, they weren't like, it wasn't like you bought a tape and they're all monster movies or they're all Westerns or, there was just a mixture of all these different films on one tape. And so he had these boxes in his office and I go, what's in the boxes? And he goes, oh, those are all my SVHS masters for trailers on tape. Oh, really? What are you going to do with them? He goes, oh, I'm throwing them out. I'm like, I'll take them. So I got them down in my basement. So I got all these VHS tapes with all these trailers on them. Some of them are logged. They have a list inside of what trailers are on the tape. Others aren't. There's like nothing, you just have to watch and see what's on there. But there's some cool stuff. I mean, there was an old animated car commercial for like a used car lot here in the Bay Area with Bob Wilkins, like a cartoon Bob Wilkins, and he was narrating it and doing this commercial for this car lot. And that was just on one of the tapes. It was just random stuff. So there's treasures on there probably still to find, but
well, yeah, you read about stuff like this woman recorded every episode of some show like in the 70s, and like that's the only way we have these episodes is to be able to watch.
No, definitely.
It's the same thing. Like they're finding old Doctor Who episodes right now, just because they're, there's like a whole section of Doctor Who that got lost because literally exactly doing the same thing. They're like, oh, well, nobody's ever going to watch these. So they would like record over old tapes.
Yeah, well, that's what
the
happened with
studio.
Creature Features because Bob Wilkins would record something. He kept all the stuff that was recorded on like 16 millimeter,
Yeah.
but the stuff on tape, yeah, they'd tape it over the next night with the news or whatever.
Yep.
And I think John Stanley, who took over for Bob Wilkins, he kept VHSs of like all his stuff, but
Yeah.
a lot of stuff from the Bob Wilkins days are all missing or lost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's exactly how they're starting to find some of these old Doctor Who episodes and restoring them, is because, oh yeah, this person recorded it on VHS, so they're like getting these episodes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that also happened like the Mystery Science Theater season 0 there's 3 or 4 episodes that no one has anywhere because no one's been able to find it because it aired once and they destroyed the tapes.
This is back when he was just like in Michigan playing it on public access.
Wisconsin, but yes.
Wisconsin, yeah. Somewhere in the Midwest.
Well, Jerry Anderson released like the CD soundtrack for Thunderbirds. And if you read the liner notes in the CD, they talk about they found the original tapes in someone's garage in a corner, and they're all moldy, and they had to like take the tapes and they had to clean everything, get the mold off, record it all, remaster it. Yeah, and it sounds great, but just reading everything they had to go through just to get it out on a CD, it was like pretty amazing.
And like now studios will never do that because they're just like, oh my God, we've got to preserve everything now. But like, back then it was the Wild West. They were just like, no, we don't care.
Right, and that's really what's sad is about the physical versus digital media. Is we think that it's digital, it's preserved. It's not, because the company might go, we don't want this anymore. We'll just delete it from our servers, and then it's gone forever.
Right.
Oh,
yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So Bob, with all your love of sci-fi and what made you start a podcast then?
Well, a group of us here in the Bay Area, we would get together like once a month we called it like the Monster Club. We'd get together for lunch and we'd sit around and we'd talk about movies and TV and things, and we'd also bring something to share, which is kind of where the Censor Suite part of our show came from. And I was talking to Larry Kakos, who was in the group. I'm like, man, there's so much knowledge around this table every month that we should get everyone together for a podcast. And then some of the ones that were joining in, they're like, we can barely get together once a month for lunch. How are we going to do a podcast on a regular basis? And and then Larry had known Karen Walker for years, and they wanted to do something. I said, well, I'll join in. And we decided to do it. And I thought, okay, this is also a good opportunity, because anytime I would go on a podcast or go on the radio or go wherever, I got to talk Godzilla. They all want to talk Godzilla. So I figured, okay, well, we'll get this podcast going and I can talk about everything but Godzilla. We've done episodes on, I think we just recorded last night, we recorded our 179th episode.
Nice.
So it should have been out today, but we were late this time. So it'll be out in the next couple of days. But yeah, it's, sometimes we have to throw out a best of, but, or, it's like, all right, we gotta record an episode. What can we do it on that we can just talk off the top of our heads and we don't have to like binge a show or watch a movie or, do much homework on.
Yeah.
And, then that becomes, some of the best episodes have been done that way.
Yeah.
But, and then Larry and Karen, they're big into Star Trek and Star Wars. So, more so than me. So, every once in a while they'll be, we want to do this. And I'm like, but,
and that's something I appreciate about your guys' show is the range of what you guys talk about.
Yeah. It's all just stuff we love. But there was one episode I'm really kind of proud of that they wanted to do an episode on Star Wars. And I go, okay, well, let's do the original Star Wars, not New Hope, but the original Star Wars. And we talk about it like we were back in 1977 and it's the only Star Wars that exists. So we can't talk about Empire Strikes Back. We can't talk about Ewoks or Jar Jar Binks or Mandalorian or Boba Fett. None of that exists. It's just this movie and the impact it had on us at the time, how we first saw it, things that were happening at that time, like Marine World over here. They provided the elephants that were the banthas.
Yep.
And they had a big bantha, full-size bantha suit on display there for a while.
Really?
You go and take pictures with. So just, things like that. And it's like, okay. And so, and you have to kind of watch yourself because every once in a while you're going to comment on something and you're going to say, well, and you're about to refer to, the prequel series or something. And then you have to remember, oh, I can't talk about that. It doesn't. So.
Yeah.
I like. I was going to say, actually, Alan Fernandez was a good friend of the show before he passed. We were, Alan Fernandez was the elephant trainer.
Oh, okay.
From New Hope. He was also one of the original Sand People.
Tusken Raiders.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah, one of the Tuskens.
Yeah, I worked with a guy once that he was originally the announcer for the water ski and boat show at Marine World.
Oh, nice.
And the helicopter spin, he had the voice down, but
yeah. But I definitely get that with watching, doing your homework, as he said. Yeah, my show, I watch 3 or 4 movies a week just to do the weekly show, and it's just it's a slog sometimes.
Oh yeah. Well, it's like we at one point we're like, well, let's do an episode on the X-Files. Oh, wait a second. That's a lot of episodes to watch.
A little bit, yeah.
So I think we did one on like seasons 1 and 2. And eventually we got to get back, do like 3 and 4 or whatever. But so sometimes we'll just take chunks of series, or once in a while we'll get something where it's like, okay, there's not many episodes of this. Let's do this one. But I begged and begged to do the Invaders, and we did an episode on the Invaders, but we had to do a lot of other episodes while we binged through the Invaders. But Larry and Karen, they weren't really into the Invaders at first, but when they started watching, there's so many contract players from TV back then that they'd watch an episode and invariably see, oh, this guy was in Star Trek, or this guy was in that, and they'd recognize faces, and then they started getting into it, and then, the stories are good and the episodes were good, and so it all went from there. But
I like that. I years ago I tried watching the original Star Trek with my wife. I'm like, you just got to watch this, because between this and Twilight Zone, every sci-fi and horror show that you like from the 80s, 90s, and now all get their ideas from these 2 series. They are the roots of it.
Oh, for me back then, it was Outer Limits.
Yes.
That was in fact, it's funny because on our YouTube version of the podcast, we get varying degrees of listeners depending on what we're covering. I think we're over 24,000 hits on the Outer Limits.
Really?
Which surprised me. And, we always talk about the Outer Limits as like the gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Or we should just hashtag every episode Outer Limits. But we did one on Christopher Lee's Dracula, and it actually is catching up to the Outer Limits. The 2 of those are pretty close. But, you never know, because we'll do an episode on something. We'll think, oh, this is going to be big. And, like a couple dozen people tune in. Then you do one that's just kind of like a throwaway thing, and, you get thousands. So it's because we're not, I think it'd be different if, let's say we were a Star Trek podcast and every episode we did something on Star Trek. Then you've got this built-in audience that follows you all the way. But since we do different things every episode, it's just kind of like whatever eyes it catches, then that's how many, views we get.
Oh, we're 100% familiar with that.
Yeah.
We're a variety show. We get it.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes we'll just do stuff because we think it's fun. I don't know if anyone's going to watch this, but let's talk about this. We did Saturday morning live action TV shows on one episode.
Oh, nice.
Like Arc 2 and Land of the Lost and the Bugaloos and whatever we picked, and it was just It was fun. Yeah, I don't know if it was
Yeah.
one of the more popular ones, but it was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I said with what I do as well. It's just like we kind of have like the same subject matter for an episode that we're picking. So something that's like we just released our 4th of July one, right? So
Yeah.
it's all horror movies take place on 4th of July that aren't The Purge.
Right.
That aren't The Purge. That's right.
Yeah, it's rare, but it's just kind of like we're using it as an excuse to go back and watch these movies that we missed growing up because, like I said, you didn't have it at your local shop, you didn't get to see it, so it's just an excuse for us to go back and watch stuff that we missed from our childhoods.
Oh yeah.
I feel it's the same kind of with you as well.
Once in a while, we get lucky. Like there's a Stanford Theater down in Palo Alto that's owned by the Packard family from like Hewlett Packard.
Yeah,
and they just show like old movies, all pretty much like 60s, 50s, and older. And recently they had a Hitchcock. Basically, they went each weekend. They had a different pairing of Hitchcock movies, and so I was able to see Rear Window and The Birds and a couple others. So, it was, and it's cool because they got the organ player at the beginning, and then the organ and the player like sinks down into the stage, and then the curtains open up, and
The Birds, another local movie for us.
Yeah, I keep saying I want to go to Bodega Bay and check out all the places it was shot at.
Yeah, I drove by the school, man. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's still there. I think the Tides restaurant is still there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, my girlfriend and I are gonna head up there hopefully soon. Check it out.
Yeah. Have you run into stuff where you guys are going to watch like this gem from the past you just didn't get a chance to see and kind of like blown away by anything in particular if you've done that?
Well, the reason we started Bay Area Film Events because we figured it's best to see these movies in the theater.
Right.
They're made for the big screen.
Right.
And and sometimes because we don't just do Godzillafest, we've done everything from James Bond to Bruce Lee to Ray Harryhausen to whatever. So a lot of times it's like, what movies do we want to see on the big screen? Let's do a show with those.
Yeah.
Like we did a Sci-Fi X Fest over in San Leandro, and we had Marta Kristen from Lost in Space as the guest. Wow. And we showed Lost in Space episodes and things. But I was like, I want to show War of the Worlds because I've never seen War of the Worlds on the big screen. So we made sure that we showed that. The funniest thing was when it came time to take Marta to the airport, I couldn't find her. I'm like, where did Marta go? Oh, she's in the theater. So I go in the theater and she's watching the Great Vegetable Rebellion episode of Lost in Space up on the big screen. Because she's always seen Lost in Space, obviously on TV, but she's never seen it on a big screen. And that episode, for whatever reason, she definitely wanted to see it on the big screen. And I kind of tapped her on the shoulder, hey, Marta, we got to go to the airport. She's like, no, not till this is over. I say, okay.
We got to pay if we got to change your ticket, right? No.
We got her there in time. But so I mean, a lot of time, even like, especially obviously Godzilla is a big love of ours. And we've done we've done Godzillafest since like 2004. So, it's like, all right, what movies haven't we seen? What movies can we find that we can show on the big screen? And a lot of times I'm running around and doing stuff, so I don't have time to sit and watch a movie. But I'll usually pick like one film or something, all right, I got to sit down and at least watch this one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think this year because we've got the Godzillafest Film Festival coming up next weekend.
Okay.
It's July. The dates was the 17th to 19th at the Balboa Theater, and we've got Saturday night. Okay, well, this is funny because the Balboa is a first run theater as well as a rep house.
Yeah,
they get first run movies, and the studio's telling them that weekend is the opening weekend for the Odyssey, and they have to show it. So they got to show the Odyssey once on Friday night, once on Saturday night, once on Sunday night. So that takes 3 of our screenings away.
Right.
Because that pulls the screen from us. Well, I'll go backwards. Sunday night, we're showing Shin Godzilla Orthochromatic, which is the black and white version of
Yeah.
Shin Godzilla.
Yeah.
That's going up against the Odyssey.
Oh man.
Saturday night is Godzilla -1 minus color. That's up against the Odyssey. So I'm kind of curious to see who's going to win out on this.
Yeah.
Thing. And then Friday night, well, we've got Ebera Horror from the Deep up against the Odyssey. So I don't know which one's going to win out on that one, but
yeah.
But the funny thing though is last year, we showed -1 last year and a bunch of other stuff. And the one movie, the whole weekend, the one movie that sold out and had the biggest crowd was Monster Zero.
Ooh,
which did my heart good.
Yeah.
But it was just like, because that was the first time we showed -1 and we had 2 screenings. I thought, okay, this is going to be the big one. And it's like, no, Monster Zero beat it out. So we'll see what happens this weekend.
Yeah.
It's
I like that you're doing that. Like I live in Chicago area, and they once a year they do a 14-hour horror movie marathon. 14-hour movies. It's like this is a chance to see all these movies in the 80s, 90s that I didn't get to see in theaters. Yeah. And they used to do a sci-fi extravaganza as well. They stopped that a couple of years ago. Like COVID happened, and they stopped doing that. And like the things I'd love to see on the big screen.
Well, yeah, I always dreamed of owning a movie theater and just showing whatever I want. But and we also who do we want to meet? What guests we don't want to work with? And then so we've had we had Ray Harryhausen's daughter because Ray wasn't around at that point. Mm-hmm. We had Richard Keel from the Bond films. We had Russ Tamblyn at our first Godzillafest.
Really?
We had a 35 millimeter print of War of the Gargantuas. And at that time, the big rumor was he didn't want to talk about the movie. He didn't like the movie. He didn't want to talk about it. So I got his number and I called him up and I said, I go, hey, Russ, we've got a 35 millimeter collector print of War of the Gargantuas that we're going to show at the Castro Theater in San Francisco. Would you want to come up for it? Oh, sure, I'll do it. So we got him up here. And he admitted, he goes, I don't know if I've ever seen the movie. He goes, I went over there, I shot it, and then I just left. Yeah, that was it. And so he sat there in the theater, watched the movie. And of course, everybody in the theater is like cheering for the green gargantua or cheering for the brown gargantua and singing along with the words get stuck in my throat. And it was over, and he looks at us, he goes, that was a lot of fun. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And he went up on stage and he talked all about it and everything was cool. And I think he's talked about it in interviews since then. But yeah, no, it was pretty cool. We had Phil Tippett and Dennis Muir for a Harryhausen night that we did. And so it's just kind of like, all right, who do we want to work with?
Yeah,
right.
We did Creature Features night at the Giants game, and it's like after a Saturday night game, everyone who had Creature Features tickets got to go down on the field, sit in the outfield, and watch Night of the Living Dead on the big screen.
Ooh.
And we had Judith O'Dea there as a guest, and so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
we did it the following year. We did Creature from the Black Lagoon. We didn't have a guest, but we had John Stanley from Creature Features hosting it. And I got a call about a week before from Greg Kinn from the Greg Kinn Band.
Mm-hmm.
He was a DJ on the radio at the time. And he goes, hey, I hear you're doing a Creature Features night at the Giants game. Do you need a host? I'm like, we got John Stanley. He goes, oh, I love John Stanley. Can I introduce John Stanley? I'm like, sure. So he came out, I got up, I introduced Greg Kinn. Greg Kinn introduced John Stanley. John Stanley introduced the movie, and then off we went. But
what a way to get just kind of like that going. That's amazing.
Yeah. It's like, but
it's a
lot of fun, So we kind of say, like I say, we say, hey, who haven't we worked with or whatever, and doing the Godzilla films, and we're bringing in all these guests from Japan and stuff. That's like for this year. In September, we have the big convention coming up in the Holiday Inn Golden Gateway. and we've got Katsuhiko Sasaki, who played the inventor of Jet Jaguar in Godzilla versus Megalon. He was also in he was like Ichinose in Terror Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
He also had a pretty big role in Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. So he's one of our guests. And the other one is Shusuke Kaneko, who directed the Gamera trilogy from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And he directed GMK, like Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant
Yeah.
Monsters, Heart Attack.
Yep.
And, the live action Death Note and, a few other films. So those are the main guests. And then we have TJ Storm, who's almost like a regular now. I tell him he's just part of the family, but TJ is a motion capture actor, and he played Godzilla in Godzilla and Godzilla King of the Monsters for Legendary. And
Really?
yeah, and then he's also played he played the Red Hulk in the Captain America movie. He said he played both Captain America and Iron Man in Civil War in the CG scenes.
Yeah, the mocap suit.
Yeah, and he's played the Predator before, and a few others. So yeah, he's cool. But yeah, he loves coming out, and he treats everybody like they're his best friend. So I told him, anytime we have a show, you're invited. And he said, "Well, I'll come as long as I'm not working. I'll come out." So
That's dope.
Yeah.
I was going to bring up, so in our chat, we've got a couple people who've asked some questions here, and I just want to make sure I got to them before.
Why is this guy on the show?
No, so Sei Wong, who I know is a big big Godzilla fan, he was asking, what's your opinion on the future of the tokusatsu in general?
Well, Godzilla is alive and well, obviously. Legendary is doing their films. Monarch was big. Now they're going to have a spin-off from Monarch. We had Godzilla -1. The trailer for Godzilla -0 just came out today.
Right.
Second trailer. And so I think he's alive and well with Toho. I mean, they won an Academy Award last year for -1 for special effects.
Yeah.
And as far as other tokusatsu, there's always Gamera rumors. Okay, we're doing another Gamera, but it never seems to resurface. But Ultraman is still big. I know there's rumors Subaru is having some problems right now, but they just released. I think it started last weekend was Ultraman Teo, which is the newest series. So that, and because they have their YouTube channel, it's the episode will air Thursday night in Japan, and by Friday morning it's subtitled and dubbed and on YouTube, all over the world. So they're generating a lot of interest that way. The Sentai stuff, pretty much they ended that.
Yep.
And that's kind of Power Ranger, where Power Rangers comes from.
Yeah.
They ended that, and then they replaced it with one of the Metal Heroes, Gavan, which I loved. Space Sheriff Gavan, the original one back in 1980. This one, I've seen previews and things, but I haven't seen the series yet. But it's, I don't know, doesn't look like my cup of tea, but we'll see. I'll check it out. Kamen Rider's still going. Kamen Rider's been going since 1971. So it's not as big as when there was a big tokusatsu boom in Japan, but the stalwarts are still kicking along. Your Godzillas, your Ultramans, Kamen Riders. So Toei is going to keep doing something along the way.
Right.
And Ultraman, this is the 60th anniversary of Ultraman this year.
Yeah.
So
it's been that long.
It has
60 years. Yeah, because 1966 was the first series.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Crazy, man.
I mean, Godzilla hit 70 last year, and then
Ultraman
60 this year. So, this is amazing. And I'm always amazed at how many Ultraman series there are, and how many episodes total, and how many monsters they have to keep coming up with. I know they're cycling a lot in the recent series, but they still have new ones as well. So there's hundreds and hundreds of different monsters out there, and I'm like way past the point where I can remember all the names.
There's no shortage of monsters within the entire series.
And between this weekend in Chicago, they got G-Fest going on. They've been doing that convention for 31 years as of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we
Silver Age Comic Con in Reno this weekend, which is also going to have a couple of
Ryota
kaiju
and someone else. I'm gonna probably end up at Stockton Con on Saturday. One of the people we brought on the board for Bay Area film events, he also runs Stockton Con, so he's gonna get us in. Grant West.
Okay.
So Grant's getting us in. He's got Kevin, who's like my partner in all this. He's got a table there, so you'll see the big Godzillafest banner and some stuff promoting our show.
Nice.
Yeah. I'll go there and hit up some of the dealers. Hey, you want to come back in September? But we've got a lot of stuff we're working on, so it'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, I mean, G-Fest in Chicago, we're trying to be the G-Fest of the West, but they've got like 28 years on us as far as conventions go, so we got some growing to do still. But just things like that. Keep it alive, even the film fest we got coming up next week, we've been doing that, like I say, since 2004. And there are like little kids that come out with their parents to see the movies. And I've seen some of these kids grow over the years to the point where they're taller than I am. Yeah. And we have one family, this guy comes down from Reno, brings his 2 grandsons. And he came up to me last time around. And he says, "This is our high holy day every year. We come down here every year." So they do the film festival. Now they do the convention as well.
Yeah, that's a massive compliment, though, man. Like this is the one show we want to come and do every year.
And so there's definitely it's popular.
Yeah, no,
and we're at the point now where it's like, all right, if you're a Godzilla fan, you've probably heard of the show. You've probably heard of Godzillafest. Our goal now is to get the word out to the casual fan, or not even a fan, just someone who might think it's cool and want to go. Because we did tote bags last year, and I'll take a couple tote bags to Safeway with me to do some grocery shopping, and invariably some clerk or someone will, "Hey, what's that?" "Oh, you guys, how come I never heard of that?" It's like, that's why I want to know,
because you're not paying attention.
That's right. Where can we push this stuff so that Joe Sixpack can hear about it? So
yeah, but that's awesome. Phil knows I've been taking my oldest kid with me to some of the horror cons in the Chicago area and just being able to see what they're like and be able to go and talk to the guest, because she doesn't know necessarily everything that they've done, but she's very starstruck when she gets to talk to people. And I go with her just to help her ease her anxiety, just talk to them. They're people.
Well, I mean, my daughter is like upper 30s now, but yeah, she grew up with the horror gene. And so we used to go. I used to take her to WonderCon all the time in Oakland. And I remember one year she wanted to go because she wanted to get a picture with James Marsters, who played Spike in Buffy.
Yeah.
And so we went there, and he was like behind the curtain, and it's like, I had to pay big bucks for her to get in there. So, we went in, and, he was nice and all. I took the picture, and, off we went. And then we went over to what I call Has-Been Alley, which is like all the older stars, And we go in there, and there was one table that no one was around. And I said, "Oh, let's go over and talk to him." And we go over. It was William Catt, The Greatest American Hero.
Yep.
And he had never done a show before. This was like the first one he'd done. Really? And so we talked for like half an hour. He was like really nice. And then he's like, "You got a camera?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Let's take a picture." We take a picture, and then, I had him sign something. I told my daughter, I go, "See, that's the difference between the guys that are working and the guys that aren't working anymore. You know, this guy took like a half hour out of his time to talk to us, and James Marsters, we had to like go in, get a picture, get out.
Yep.
But,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I do the same thing. Like I said, we can talk to the smaller tables, but they're still fun to talk. They're great to talk to if they want to talk. We don't bug them,
Right.
but yeah, the conversations you're able to have with people, it's just when there's time is absolutely amazing. Like you have the Doug Bradleys, you get your picture, you stand in line for 5 hours, and you get out.
Oh god, yeah. I said I would never do any more cattle calls because they have the cattle calls where you all just line up and you go in. They're like, you cannot talk to the star, you cannot look at him, or you just stand there, get your picture, and leave. And I did. It was a con in San Jose. I did William Shatner, and then I did Burt Ward and Adam West. And at least Shatner, when I went in there, he said hello and thank you and goodbye, and so a little interaction. Burt Ward and Adam West were just like, they might as well just put cardboard cutouts up there. Yeah. Well, Adam West actually passed away like a couple weeks after that, but it was just, and I went in there and I'm like, I was just kind of joking around. I go, oh, I'm sure everybody stands next to Adam. I'll stand over here next to Burt. And they just, if I had the picture, I got Adam West is like looking off somewhere else. Saw somebody.
It's funny. I always heard good things about Adam West, though. Just like, he was just.
I think it's different if he's like at a table and all that. But
yeah. Like I heard he would always get swamped, but he was always like just generally a nice guy.
Well, the only other, because I said I would never, after that, I said, I'm never doing a cattle call again. And then I went to Monster Palooza and they had a chance to get a picture with the cast of Ash versus the Evil Dead. Like the whole cast was there. I'm like, okay, that one I got to do.
You just spoke Graveyard's entire language right there.
You did.
Well, I went, one Monster Palooza, I went and Bruce Campbell was there, by himself. And so, I paid to go up and get an autograph and all that. And he's great, It's like you walk in the room, he's like, hey, champ, how you doing? He's just acts like Ash, Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen, there's a figure this friend of mine did called Mecha Creech. And it's kind of like half Mecha Godzilla, half Creature from Black Lagoon.
Ooh.
And they had some other stuff on it, like the hand with the eyeball from the skateboards and stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of whatever he liked, he put in this figure. And he sells it out of Fremont. But he brought it with him. He was after me to see Bruce Campbell. He goes, hey, Bruce, I got to show you something. And he goes, okay. And part of this Mecha Creech, there was that song like Detachable Penis.
Yeah.
So it has a detachable penis. It comes like in the head, and you have to pull the head off, and then you can screw the penis on. So, he shows it to Bruce Campbell, and the first thing Bruce Campbell says, he looks at it, he goes, I see a penis. So that's kind of the running joke. Whenever he posts a picture of it online, I'll just reply, I see a penis.
I love that. That's Bruce Campbell's entire reaction to it.
I was like, the first thing he said, I see a penis.
If you haven't met Bruce, he is a riot.
Oh yeah. No, he was really cool. But we had a really good conversation with Mitch Pileggi from the X-Files. He was at one of the shows.
Yeah.
And it really depends. Sometimes you have to catch them at the right time. Other times
it's not when they're walking to the bathroom. That's not the good time.
Yeah, no. Well, see, my one friend Barry, he always like lucks out at things like that because it's like one of the cons in San Jose had Arnold Schwarzenegger there, and you had to pay big bucks to meet Arnold.
I imagine.
Barry runs into him in the elevator. Hey, let's take a picture. Free,
Yeah.
He did the same thing with Norman Reedus from Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like he just kind of like lucks into these things. Yeah. I was at Monster Palooza once, a bunch of times, but one time I was there. My friend Kevin and I were in the museum where they have all the big props and things, and they had the Orca, the ship from Jaws, and and three mannequins of the actors that looked absolutely real. And so we were like looking at it, taking some pictures. Oh, this is cool. This guy comes up behind us. He goes, "Hey, can you take my picture in front of that? Because I made it." And I turn around. It's Greg Nicotero.
Oh,
Yeah.
Come on in, take a picture with us too.
Absolutely.
But so, yeah,
That
I
is
know
that's
one
fantastic.
person who people used to run into at Monster Palooza who's a big monster kid. And now they open it up early so he can go in before the crowds because he was getting swamped, was Dick Van Dyke.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've always heard nothing but like how amazing Dick Van Dyke is as just like as a person.
Yeah, if you look up Dick Van Dyke Halloween on YouTube, he always decks out his house with big animatronics and everything for Halloween. And he's like a little kid. There's like one video where someone's delivering this big animatronic for him and he's just like, "Oh, this is great," and it's just like big fan of all that stuff.
I love that, man. So I got another question from Sewong here. He said, would you recommend fans to take on the risk of sailing the high seas to acquire rare kaiju films? Many are doing this, of course, to watch the new Space Sheriff Infinity series.
Sailing the high seas?
So going to Japan.
Just going to Japan? I would say definitely go to Japan, whether you're going to see something or not. We all went. I had myself and 3 friends went in 2009, and we went to Toho. We got the tour. We got to go into the prop department. We got to go in the clothing, like the wardrobe department. I got to go on a couple of the sound stages and things, and we had lunch with Shinichi Wakasa, who's like a suit builder. And we've had him over for shows, and so he's really cool. And he took us to his shop where he made like Godzilla 2000 and the Gamera suits, and he has all these different suits and props and heads and the Space Godzilla's head and things in his. And then he's got like binders upon binders full of photos from shows he worked on, whether it was Sentai or he goes all the way back to like Ultraman 80 and a bunch of these. So we were all sitting around this table, just flipping through these photo books, of all the stuff he'd done. And he was really cool too about everything. So I mean, if you can get over there, even if you can't get into a studio, there's just so much stuff everywhere, that you can see. We stayed at this one hotel, and in the vending machine outside the hotel, they had Ultraman soda in there. So it's like we get back from a day's adventure, and I'd throw some yen in there, get another soda, try to collect all the cans. I think I got all but one by the time we left. But so you never know. You just run into things when you're over there. There's, do your homework before you go.
Right.
And you'll know what stores to hit and what districts to go to and things like that. And it's definitely. I want to go back. I just haven't had the money. But someday
I want to go to Japan. Period. That's like one of my destinations, is to go to Japan.
Well, the funniest thing is I have this person I've been seeing since like beginning of March, and she's not really into any of the stuff, but she knows I am because she's been to the house and seen all this.
Yeah.
And so long before she met me, she had a cruise scheduled. And she had to fly to Tokyo and stay there for like 3 nights and then get on the ship and go on this cruise through Asia. So she gets to Japan and she left it up to her travel agent to book the hotel.
Okay.
She was in the Gracery, which is also known as the Godzilla Hotel.
Oh.
It has the big
Godzilla
on the roof, and it's got the Godzilla shop and all this stuff inside. She sends me this picture, like a selfie in front of this Godzilla statue, kind of with an expression like, "I just spent a couple nights at this guy's house, surrounded by Godzilla. I come on vacation and look what's here." I said, "Well, that's your initiation right there." But so out of all the places she could have gone, ended up at the Gracery. But
that's a good place to go.
Yeah, I'd like to go there. It's like she beat me to it.
Yeah. So why do you think Godzilla's kind of endured in the mythos for 70 years now? What about Godzilla these things is just not
Well, you know,
ending.
I mean, you look at our shows, like I say, you know, you get guys that come and bring their kids.
Mhm.
So, you know, you're introducing it to generation after generation. And there's so many iterations of Godzilla.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, if you like comedy, you know, there's some of the sillier films. If you like, you know, evil monster destruction, there's other films. If you like just tag team wrestling matches, you know, you got Megalon and things. So there's
The things that Godzilla
there's a little
does,
Godzilla for
100%
everyone.
wrestling.
What's that?
So some of the things Godzilla does, 100% wrestling. Like the
Oh, yeah.
the sailing on the tail. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because when we usually show Megalon, I can't remember. I don't think we're showing Megalon this year, but whenever we show Megalon, I make sure I time it out so that I can go and peek into the theater when he's going to do the tail slide, just to see and every time the audience just cheers, like almost standing ovation. Ah, here he goes, you know.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I mean, there's so much fun in the films, and like I say, you know, some people like them all. Some people like just the Showa. Some like the newer films, the Millennium films. You know, a lot of people discovered him when -1 came out.
Yeah.
So it's just it just keeps going. And then, you know,
Yeah.
you've got like the boring animation on Netflix and things, but
Yeah. Yeah, my wife's first Godzilla film was Godzilla '98.
yeah.
She
Well, you know, it's
loved
funny
that
'cause-
movie nonstop.
Yeah.
That
It
is
was amazing.
painful.
Well, my friend Keith Aiken and I, we do sci-fi-japan.com, and we were invited to the -1 premiere. Yeah,
Mhm.
and we were standing on the red carpet, and you know, people were coming along and coming in, and they had some like YouTube influencer people
Mhm.
that, you know, they have nothing to do with this movie, but they're on the red carpet because they've got a name or whatever.
Right.
And they're like, "Do you want to interview this next person?" I go, "Well, who's she?" "Oh, she's, you know, YouTube influencer or whatever." And I hear the people next to us interviewing her, and the first question they asked was, "What was your first Godzilla film?" And she answers, "This one."
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, we don't want to talk to her. Keep her going.
Mhm.
What like how are you in like
Mhm.
I get it, you're an influencer, but at the same time it's like I guess they're trying to bring them in to bring in new audiences, I guess. Like
I think
Well-
they're using them as marketing and hype.
Well, you know, it's the same thing. Like I was saying, how do we get across the people that aren't diehard fans?
Mhm.
Same thing. You know, they're bringing these influencers in. They're bringing in their audience, and they may be like a bunch of people that never like, oh, this is my first one, you know, and then hopefully they get hooked on Godzilla, you know, from then on. So
we
it's
make
kinda
jokes on the show all the time because we're always reporting on, like, you know, everything that's happening in the industry and whatnot, and we'll talk about like, oh hey, so from, you know, this scooper or this person and all this, and so we started making this running joke like, so how do we become scoopers? Because these guys are getting all these scoops. Like how the hell how do we start reporting on this stuff?
well, you know, it's like Christine Chapin. She puts videos out all the time, and she's sort of a Godzilla influencer. So all these manufacturers just send her product all the time, so because they want her to talk about it on her video.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, yeah. So we brought her on the board for Godzillafest. So she does all our social media stuff because we're old people. We don't know about that stuff. So yeah, we brought her on, and she's been doing all our Facebook stuff and Instagram and whatever else. But yeah, no, there's just so many different ways. And I think it took Toho and Tsuburaya a long time to kind of catch on to the newer way of doing things
Right.
and getting things, you know, like I say, Tsuburaya's got the Ultraman channel on YouTube. You know, 10 years ago, they wouldn't even have thought of that.
Right.
Yeah. But now they're totally embracing it.
Yeah.
So, you know, and even like, you know, because they're just used to put it out on TV, syndicate it across the world, and, you know, put out a bunch of toys that people will buy. That was
Right.
like the end of everything. But
Yeah, it's interesting, like where people's first entry is to it. But yeah, it just, like I said, my wife just loves Godzilla 98 to no end. Like I said, I grew up trying to watch it as much as the original ones as I can. My dad just goes, he didn't like them, but it's like I said, the first Godzilla movie was a pure horror movie.
It kind of was.
I saw that movie once in the theater. I haven't watched it since.
Yeah, that's what the new Godzilla movie was trying to emulate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But no, 98. In fact, we have not shown 98 at any of our Godzilla fests.
Well, in fairness, he's not called Godzilla.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think what I know is like my kids know is that, the idea of the analog horror of the man trapped in the rubber suit, right? That's from Godzilla. And that's how my kids have really been introduced to it. Like, oh, this is the thing. Like, this is a much bigger thing than this analog horror thing on YouTube. Like, this world is massive.
Yeah. Well, it's like they talk about the effects in the Godzilla films and things, but if you take any Godzilla film and you look at it in the period that it was made, like you can't take Monster Zero and compare it to Star Wars.
Right.
Or, you have to compare it to other films that came out during that time.
Right.
And if you do that, you realize the effects were actually really good and ahead of their time. Mm-hmm. And you see movies here at that time that tried to do suit acting and things. Look at like Unknown Island or whatever, and they have these. They're out in the middle of Pasadena or whatever in the dinosaur suits, and half of them are falling over because it's so hot. But even like Land That Time Forgot, At the Earth's Core. Look at the suit acting in those, and compare those to Godzilla films in the late 60s, early 70s.
Right.
And it's like night and day.
And that's more of an apt comparison.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you get the newer films. Okay, you get -1, and -1 beat out all the other movies last year for best special effects. So, you can't. People, they say, oh, paper mache buildings or whatever. But no, you go back and look at behind the scenes, and those buildings are made out of plaster, and they've got the little sections that are cut so that it breaks a certain way. They've got floors and walls inside so that when they crumble, it's not just a hollow building. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. But again, you have any movie. I don't care if it's Godzilla or whatever. You have to compare it to the movies at its time.
Mm-hmm.
It's a product of its time, so you can't look at it compared to now. Even like old James Bond movies or whatever, they talk about how sexist he is or whatever. It's like, well, that's the way things were back then.
Right.
You have to look at it and consider it in the era it took place.
Right. They're always going to be a product of their time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except look at Jurassic Park. I argue the first Jurassic Park looks way better than the one that just came out a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah. Well, they were innovating everything back then.
Yeah.
So I think, they took a lot more time. Now it's just kind of like, go on the computer. Oh, there's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
But back then, you had. It wasn't just digital. There were also a lot of practical effects in that, and it's like.
Well, and a lot of the dinosaurs were going to be stop motion.
Originally, they were supposed to be.
I was working on footage for the dinosaurs.
Yeah. Yeah, he just took Phil Tippett's work and then computerized.
Yeah, but the funny thing is Phil Tippett still was the movement director for the film. He's still credited and all.
Yeah.
But in fact, it's funny because Yoshimitsu Banno, who directed Godzilla versus the Smog Monster or Godzilla versus Hedorah, at one point he got the okay from Toho to do a sequel, and he was like pushing it over here as to shoot it for IMAX and all this stuff. And so he ended up over at Legendary, and that's how Legendary got the license for Godzilla.
Oh,
so if you look, he passed away shortly after Godzilla 2014. But if you look at all the Legendary movies, he's still credited as an executive producer because he was the one that brought Godzilla to them. So
Right.
they never did that sequel to Smog Monster, but yeah, they got Godzilla, and that's what they wanted. So, and who knows? They've got Space Godzilla's in the next one, so who's to say Hedorah won't show up at some point?
Right.
But
Right. Well, yeah. When they started talking about what the next film is going to be, it's like, oh God, they're like they are really reaching for a lot of that the old lore.
yeah.
We just need Son of Godzilla. Come on.
Well, it's funny because say what you will about Godzilla King of the Monsters, but a lot of people kind of are down on the film, but at the time, Keith and I, that was another one. Keith and I went down to the red carpet thing at the Grumman's Theater and all that, and we met Michael Dougherty. So we're like, hey, can we interview you for Sci-Fi Japan? Okay, so we interviewed him for Sci-Fi Japan, and he's like, okay, did you guys notice any of the kind of in jokes I put in the movie? And so we started rattling stuff off, and he goes, oh, okay, you guys know your stuff. And I go, yeah. I go, well, we're putting on a Godzillafest in San Francisco at the Balboa Theater, later this year. And he goes, really? I go, yeah, I've shown a bunch of movies. He goes, if you show my movie, I'll come. I'm like, done. So, okay. So he came up, and he got to sit in the theater with his movie in a theater full of Godzilla fans that loved it and cheered for it. And he got up afterwards and he was talking. He said, because he's kind of shy in front of audiences, so that's the only show he's ever done. And he goes, this is the end of my journey with this movie, and I just want to thank everyone for sharing it with me and all this other stuff. But it was just a cool experience. It's like, even back in 2004, when they had the 50th anniversary of Godzilla, I went down to the Egyptian theater because they were having their 50th anniversary before we did ours. And they had Nick Adams' son as a guest. And he sat behind us for Monster Zero. And of course, Nick Adams, everybody in the theater is like cheering him and laughing at all his lines and, getting into everything, because he just like tears up the screen in every scene he's in. And when it was over, his son goes to us, he goes, I thought my dad just kind of went over to Japan, did a couple cheap monster movies, but he goes, that was really good. He goes, the audience loved it. And it's like, he was all proud. And, it's like, yeah, you got to experience these things. That's the big thing about experiencing these things in a theater. And I don't mean like when someone's kicking your chair or spilling Coke on the or whatever, or talking on their cell phone. It's like when you're in a theater with a bunch of like-minded fans watching a movie, then that's when you get the full experience.
Right.
It's kind of like what we try to do with these film festivals.
Right. So hey man, we're coming up on time here, and what we're gonna do here is get you in on some rapid fire questions. Are you ready for this?
Oh, okay.
All right, man. So whatever the first thing that comes to mind, man. No thought, just first one that comes out. So we ready for this?
Sure.
All right, Godzilla or King Kong?
Oh, Godzilla.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Showa or Reiwa?
Or what? Reiwa?
Reiwa.
Showa.
Showa. Star Trek or Star Wars?
God, depends on the era, but I'd say Star Trek, actually.
Okay. Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Practical effects or CGI?
Practical.
Favorite monster besides Godzilla?
I've had a tortoise since I was 8 years old. He's like 58 years old now. So I go with Gamera.
Gamera, yeah. Last movie that surprised you?
That surprised me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that takes a lot to surprise me. It's not a movie, but actually I thought Netflix Human Vapor was really good.
Ooh, okay.
I just got done binging that. And, yeah, I was surprised at the quality.
Okay. Netflix tends to do that sometimes. Some of their stuff actually is surprisingly good.
Yeah.
Most underrated sci-fi film?
Whew. there's two movies I always champion that didn't do great in theaters. One became a cult classic, and the other one I don't think quite made it that way. But one is The Iron Giant,
Mm-hmm.
which has become a cult classic.
Yep.
The other one is John Carter.
John
Ooh.
Carter needs a revival. John
Yeah.
Carter, the issue with that movie was more pacing than anything. They tried to shove way too much in too short of a time. Disney did
Right.
not put enough love on that movie, man.
Disney put total hate on the movie, and
Yeah.
like, you know,
and they did no marketing whatsoever.
and you know, they were at the end of the movie. It finally says like John Carter of Mars.
Yep.
Which is like the name of the book. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, if you guys finally call him John Carter of Mars at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
I agree. I think
they could have just said Barsoom or whatever, but you know, it's like just
Yeah.
calling it John Carter. I think a lot of people just didn't. What the heck is this? You know?
Right. I agree that it's something that Disney should revisit. There's a couple of different things that I think Disney should revisit, including Aragon, which supposedly rumor is they're developing an Aragon series right now.
They are. They are.
Yeah. So that's another one that I felt that did not get any love. But let's get back into questions with you.
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Otherwise, I will talk about that all night.
Yeah, I slowed the rapid fire down to a crawl.
Yeah. One franchise that you would revive.
Yeah. A franchise I would revive. Wow, that's a good one. Yeah, I'd love to see him do the Invaders again or X-Files. And I know they're doing a new version of the X-Files, but the audience is still out on that.
Yes, it is.
Kolchak and Night Stalker would be another because the remake they made of that was total crap. But you know, if they did a good Kolchak, but they'd have to find an actor that would equal Darren McGavin, which I think would be really difficult.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. So last question here. Favorite theater experience ever? Like what movie do you remember having your favorite experience in?
Wow. Okay. The Belmont Theater that was here years and years and years and years ago did a triple header matinee. And it was my favorite, Godzilla versus the Thing, Destroy All Monsters, and Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. And just sitting there and watching all three of those on the big screen, one after the other, I thought was just amazing. I mean, obviously, theater experiences at our shows because we have the guests and all that. But as far as like going to a show, going to the premiere of Godzilla King of the Monsters was cool too because everything around Hollywood was all Godzilla. They had a site where construction was going on, and they had Godzilla King of the Monsters posters all the way along the cyclone fence. And then we went to I guess it was like a screening for like critics and reporters and things one night, and the whole theater was decked out. And then we went to Grauman's Chinese the next night, and of course everything was decked out, and they had the red carpet, and we got to meet quite a few people there. J.J. Abrams, and we met Millie Bobby Brown there, and a couple of the actors from the movie, and Michael Dougherty. So yeah, it was that was a lot of fun as well.
It's pretty cool, man. All right, so last question I have for you here. 20 years from now, someone walks into Godzillafest for the very first time. What do you hope they experience that makes them say, I've got to come back next year?
Well, I hope they see me. I hope I'm still around.
Still alive and kicking.
That's right. Well, like I say, we try to grow it every year, and we try to make it bigger every year. So 20 years from now, who knows? There may be like holographic Godzilla rooms, or something in there, VR, experiences and whatever. You may go in a theater and they like plug something into your brain and you watch the movie that way. But, it's just any Godzilla Fest we do. It's like as long as we see a lot of people there having fun, that's kind of the ultimate goal on these things. So the whole idea behind Bay Area Film Events is to make memories for people and to present movies as more of an event than just a movie screening.
Yeah.
So so that's the thing, just even like now, it's like, okay, let's get more cutouts. So let's get more, because I'd like people to like walk into the hotel and instead of just, oh, here's a big lobby and there's a dealer's room over here, I almost want it to be like a Godzilla Wonderland. They walk in there and it's like, wow, look at all this. And then that's something that they'll remember, for years and years. Oh, I went to this Godzilla show back in, 2032 or whatever. And it had all these cool things and I had a blast for the weekend and everything else. So, yeah, making memories. That's the thing.
I love it, man. So we're going to get into some wrap-up questions here, man. I'm going to ask you the hardest questions that you have ever been asked in your life. Are you ready for this?
Oh, man. Okay, good.
All right, let's get this ready. Whew. What is your favorite kind of taco? Boom, there we go.
I'm just, beef is fine.
Okay. Okay.
I'll go beef.
Who would win in a fight? The giant condor or Zilla from Godzilla in 1998?
Oh man. I never had much respect for that condor. He got wiped.
Yep.
So, much as I hate to say, I'd say Zilla would probably take him.
I mean, Zilla could fight for a second until Godzilla actually wrecked it. But I mean,
yeah. Well, it's like neither of them have any kind of rays or anything, so they're gonna have to sit there and grapple.
Yep.
Unless it was Godzilla from the cartoon.
He did. Yeah, he did have. Yeah.
Then I'd give him more of a leg up.
I love it, man. What's next for you, man, that fans should be excited about? This is actually your moment where please plug everything you guys have going on right now.
Well, right now our total concentration is on the 2 Godzillafests this year. Mm-hmm. We've got the Balboa Theater next weekend, 17th, 18th, 19th. And we've got I haven't counted them up. I think there's 20 movies on 2 screens for 3 days. So invariably there's got to be a movie on there that you haven't seen on the big screen before. Mm-hmm. And I'm actually surprised. I'll get up there and introduce a movie. I'll say, how many people here have not seen this movie before? And you get a bunch of hands that go up and it's like, man, I thought everybody saw this. But yeah, that's coming up. And then of course the convention in September, and we're continually trying to add things to that. We've got 2 dealers rooms this year. We've got an artist alley. We've got a game room with video games, pinball machines, etc. We're trying to work out a card room. We got panel room. We've got a big guest dinner on Friday night. And we'll probably have a movie Saturday night, trying to figure out if we're going to do it at the hotel or a nearby theater. But that's still under negotiation. So, and again, we've got our guests and we've got other people coming in. We've got a lot of comic artists. Matt Frank will be there and Art Adams will be there. And a few other, Brandon McKinney and
friend of the show, Brandon McKinney. That's my boy.
That's a cool guy. He was there last year. He'll be back this year. Ricardo Delgado, a lot of cool guys coming back in for the show. Legendary is supposed to ante up for a table along with IDW. We're still, I think they're waiting until San Diego's over and then they'll jump on us. And supposedly Marvel wants to do a couple of panels. So.
I was going to say Marvel would be smart too because they've got their whole Godzilla run right now.
Yeah. So according to Toho, they want to do a couple panels, one on Saturday, one on Sunday. So we're waiting to see what subject they want to do. And and there's some exciting news for the future, but I can't say anything about it yet.
Okay, well that means everybody's got to keep their ear to the ground right now.
So that being keep your eye on Godzillafest.com. You can also get on our mailing list, and we also have a blog there as well. So no reason, Facebook, Instagram, no reason not to keep track of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we should have some more announcements as September comes closer.
That may have been the perfect transition because my last question was going to be where can everybody follow you, support the work, and keep up with what you're doing. So that's it right there, guys. Make sure you're visiting the website. Make sure you're checking on the social medias, all the different places right there. One more time, can you give everybody your guys' social medias so they can find it?
Well, for Godzillafest, it is Godzillafest.com. We also have Godzillafest.net and sfgodzillafest.com. So even if you make a little typo, you can still get in there. And then the main site is BayAreaFilmEvents.com. If you go there, we've got photos from our shows. We've got posters from a bunch of our shows up there in a gallery. We've got some video from our shows. We did an Ultraman stage show as well as a James Bond stage show. Those are in the video section. So check out Godzillafest.com and BayAreaFilmEvents.com, and you'll see all about us.
Awesome.
And eventually we'll get back to doing some non-Godzilla shows. But these are just beginning. The convention especially has become so overwhelming that we haven't had time to do some other stuff, but we definitely will.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together one more time for the amazing Bob Johnson.
And don't forget, planet8podcast.com.
That's right.
Yes.
You gotta,
and on YouTube, you can.
you gotta plug the.
If you want to actually watch us, you can get on YouTube and see
exactly.
us.
Always got to plug the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the one thing that's just like it's a constant. The shows happen like once, twice a year, but the podcast is twice a month. So, yeah, that's definitely the constant. So
there we go.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Well, Bob, thanks for all your time today, man. We
Yeah.
appreciate you, and we hope to see you soon, man. Or maybe next time you guys have any new announcements or anything, feel free to come on the show.
Yeah. Well, when we get closer to the convention, maybe we can chat it up a bit.
Absolutely.
So, sounds good.
All right, man.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks you
a lot. You have a good rest of your night.
I will. Thanks.
All right. I am definitely ready for some Godzilla. More Godzilla in my life.
You know who would be a good person for Godzillafest? Jordan Morris.
You know what? Because Jordan Morris has written Godzilla. Yeah. I think he was literally pitching that when he came on the show last.
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking about his Godzilla run.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I agree with that. That would be a great pitch there as to have Jordan Morris at that show. I should actually message him and see if he's got anything going on that weekend.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, you want to come to a Godzilla festival? And then he'll probably say, no, fuck off. And then no, that would be cool though, man. See if he's available for that weekend. That would be really cool to have somebody who's actually written a Godzilla comics for Marvel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, man. So what do we have? We got about 15 minutes. Do we want to talk a little bit about X-Men?
Yes, we do. We definitely want to talk because we haven't been doing the Examining X-Men for this season. You said you only saw the first 2 episodes.
Saw the first 2 episodes. I still need to watch
3 and 4.
Oh, did 4 already drop?
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm hella behind then.
Uh-huh.
I'm also behind on House of the Dragon by an episode. So I mean, like, I really need to play catch up with like TV shows.
You're behind the hot D. I understand.
I'm behind the hot D.
Exactly. So first 2 episodes, season 2, X-Men 97. I think it is a fantastic continuation. I think it still feels in the same vein as X-Men 97 did. I think it just still holds up to honestly better than season 5, the original animated series.
Yeah. Funny enough, it's still written by the same person.
Correct.
This is still this is the lingering. This is what's left over from Bodamayo.
Yes, that That it is, yeah. So we have uh, Days of Past Future is the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
It's chaotic.
It's funny. I immediately thought of you watching this stuff
How come?
because we have the long running joke
Mm-hmm.
about Cyclops abandoning his kids.
Yep.
And I thought it was funny that the entire episode is about how he didn't want to abandon his kids.
Yep.
Abandon his kid because spoilers, they haven't revealed it yet, but another one of his kids has showed up on the show.
Correct. And
one of his kids that he doesn't know exists.
Right. And in turnabout, she's trying to abandon them.
She is 100% trying to abandon them.
She knows. She knows what they do.
She knows who her family is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I said, the attention to detail, the animation has just been stellar, on point. I wish you had watched episode 4. Don't worry, don't spoil it, Say Wong. He hasn't seen it. So
Say Wong's like, I'm coming to spoil it all.
Yeah. Yeah. And dealing with, it's seemingly going to be a very apocalypse centric season.
Yeah, I mean, they were really going into that in the last episode, or going into episode 3. So I mean, I kind of know that that's the direction that it's going in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not there.
Yeah, it's someone else stated it too, and I think it's like they kind of say it in the show too. It's like, Apocalypse doesn't really get defeated. His plan gets through and he gives up, takes his football, and goes home.
Yeah. But that's always been Apocalypse. That's Apocalypse in the comics too. Like Apocalypse never is truly defeated.
No.
And I mean, he's an immortal, so I mean, it's kind of like you can't really defeat Apocalypse.
He's just the mutant version of Kang. Or He Who Remains.
Kind of, yeah. I guess I can go with that, just with a lot more power.
And a big A on his tummy.
He does have a big A on his tummy.
Exactly.
On his tum.
Exactly. Yeah, it's the implications of what is coming that I can't say because you have to experience it.
Well, I mean, I can already tell just by paying attention at least enough. We are going to survival of the fittest for sure.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they are, the way they're telling the story, it's like, oh yeah, no, they're jumping right into the survival of the fittest storyline.
Yeah. What do you think of Feral Wolverine?
Feral Wolverine was great. I love just that experience of having that version of Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was so happy to have that version of Wolverine on screen.
Yeah, to the point where he's, using his bone claws and they're breaking. He's going, ow, the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is, it just really shows how his regeneration really, really is without the adamantium, right? Because
right.
It's like, yeah, in the original animated series, he'd get hurt and he'd be out for like a day or two.
Right.
Now these bones just grow just instantaneously.
Yeah, and I mean the biggest thing with Wolverine, if you're a comic fan, if you know Old Man Wolverine, if you've seen all the different things, it's the adamantium poisoning is what eventually takes him out. Yeah. So if you have a version of Wolverine where he has no adamantium, the adamantium's been removed, that makes him that much more dangerous.
Correct. Yeah.
Because now he's got basically, because you get, okay, for those of you who don't know this, because if you're not a comic fan, if you just know TV, movies, and everything like that, you don't know this. Deadpool is what we call a mutate, right?
Yep.
And mutates are characters who are not born as mutants that get their powers by other means. So
Correct.
Mr. Sinister is a mutate. Wolverine, Deadpool is a mutate.
Spider-Man is mutate.
Spider-Man is a mutate. Deadpool's powers are derived from Wolverine. They're basically, the healing factor that he has was essentially taken from Wolverine and injected into him during an experiment. And the reason that Deadpool's healing factor is so much better than Wolverine's is because he doesn't have this heavy ass adamantium in his skeletal system.
So this actually spawned a debate that the wife and I had.
Mhm.
Him fighting the cancer, is that the equivalent of the adamantium poisoning? Because he always has to fight it.
Kind of. So the whole thing about about Deadpool fighting the cancer, essentially what that does for him is rather than it being something that hinders him in some way, it's what makes him crazy. It is also what makes it so he can break the fourth wall.
Correct.
Deadpool, the reason he can break the fourth wall the way that he does is because he cannot heal the cancer as fast as he generates it.
And realistically, if your cells are dividing way more, that's what causes cancer, is the continuation of cells divided. You think the regeneration for every mutant would have the potential of having cancer because their cells regenerate a lot more.
Right. What they've said is the reason Deadpool breaks the fourth wall is because basically because of the cancer, the brain cancer healing and regenerating constantly. And this is like in the comics, it presses down on his perennial lobe and he is able to see things that other people can't see, hence why he breaks the fourth wall.
Right.
This is canon, guys. This is in the comics.
Yeah.
Deadpool is the reason it's not because he's batshit crazy, which I mean he is, but it's not because he's batshit crazy. It's because the cancer makes it so that he can see things that other people can't. So that's why he's able to break the fourth wall. That is the explanation that Marvel gave to why he breaks the fourth wall.
Yes. Will we get a Deadpool non-morph version in X-Men at some point?
Rumor has it that we're supposed to be getting Deadpool sometime this season.
Mm-hmm. I mean, because morph goes into Deadpool often.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, he goes into Deadpool, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so rumor has it that we're supposed to be getting there's supposed to be a scene with Deadpool in it sometime this season. Now again, that's all rumors, so we don't know for sure that we'll be getting Deadpool in X-Men 97, but that would be amazing because he is a major part of X-Force, and we have X-Force happening right now. So it's it would be cool to see that homage to X-Force with Deadpool, and I'd love to see that relationship between him and Cable.
Yep.
Because Cable's always the straight man and Deadpool's always, the wacky one. So having that relationship between Cable and Deadpool where Cable's just like, dude, why are you here? Who the fuck are you? Go away.
Yep. Yeah. Do you wish they called it X-Men 98?
Not really.
Well, if they call it 97, because that's when the year would have been released for the season 6.
Right.
Season 2 should have been 98. Right.
I can see that.
Like we'd have to get like Spider-Man 99 for it to be a thing.
I can see that, but
do you think this will lead up to the revival of Spider-Man the animated series? Will we get that cliffhanger resolved because of the success of X-Men 97?
I would love if they did that. Also, I was waiting for the direction that you were going in because I was like, are we going to get an animated reanimator or what are we doing here? No,
well, they're reanimated because they have to animate it.
Exactly right. I would love if they did that. because I think that is something that should happen.
Do you think they would? I feel like they'd be concerned that it'll just destroy the current Spider-Man show they have going.
I mean that's the rumor, is the reason that they don't want to do it is because they're already doing
Friendly Neighborhood
Spider-Man, and they just renewed it for 2 more seasons. So I mean, like, they're saying that they don't want to do it because they don't want to do that because it'll confuse people. I don't think it would confuse anybody, because I mean, kids are just going to be like, more Spider-Man. I want to see more Spider-Man. Adults are going to know exactly what's going on, and it's just like, oh, we're getting more nostalgia for out of the shows that we like. So,
but it's not any different than if you were growing up with we did with the comics. Is that there's 3 different Spider-Man comics going at the same time, telling different stories. So
right.
it'd be the same. It'd be the same vein,
right?
And we know that Friendly Neighborhood isn't the MCU. It's not Earth 616.
Right.
So,
right. I agree with that, and I think that they. I think that they should just do a full-on revival and just do it.
Yes. Yeah, because like what someone said this week, the guy, not Bo, but other guy wants to do 10 seasons of X-Men 97.
I don't know if we need all that, because at that point it's like, oh, okay, we're trying to find ways to keep this series going and we want to stay relevant, and it's like, well, no, I would rather we get a couple of good seasons of X-Men 97, end it in a way where it makes sense to end the series, but then do do a Fantastic Four, because Fantastic Four was a good show in its own right.
Mm-hmm.
Do another X-Men or another do a Spider-Man series. Revive the Iron Man series.
Right. It's just with the Mutant Saga being next, this is a good way to introduce people to different mutants they might be able to show up. So this is, I think, the perfect gateway to the Mutant Saga. It would make sense to still have X-Men 97 going on, and they could have that cross with like, hey, we can showcase, instead of doing like, I know a lot of people like, a Cyclops, a Scott Summers TV show lead up to the big movie, right? We have to have this big build up to X-Men, but X-Men's never really been a single person on the team as a comic. It's always been an ensemble team,
right,
from the get-go. So I don't think we need necessarily all that stuff in it, right? I don't need 8 episodes of Scott, being concussed and being abandoned by his father.
We don't need an entire series of Scott dealing with his abandonment issues by putting his abandonment issues on his children.
Right. I think the only like potentially good series it would be an Xavier one, or a Magneto, or Storm, because we can get the Shadow King proper.
Be good. Yeah, Storm would be good. If you're gonna do a Professor Xavier series, it's got to be called I Fuck Birds.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
or Birdfucker Express.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Only on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm. So, but no, like I said, I'm excited. We have 6 more episodes this season, and they said they're going to not take multiple years to come out between. So, maybe if they do like 4 solid seasons, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Is there any X-Men that they haven't had in the series that you actually want to be showcased?
Ooh, any X-Men in the series that they haven't done that I want to see showcased?
I want, for once, a proper Iceman.
Well, okay, so in this universe, Iceman is dead.
No, he's not.
I thought they said that he died already in this universe.
He was in the original series.
I know he was in the original series.
Barely, but he was like, was he dating the Polaris?
Yeah, which, we're getting a lot of new characters in this too. I love that we got in when X-Force came in, they brought in a whole bunch of characters. I would love to see more or them bring back, because I want to say season 2 or 3 they did God, who are the Canadian dudes?
Oh, Alpha Flight.
Alpha Flight. I'd love to see them do more Alpha Flight,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know. And again, if they're going to do Alpha Flight, especially if they're going to start, bringing in Deadpool, like, hey, Alpha Flight, more Deadpool jokes, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many teams that he's been a part of that you can just like bring back in, and it just gives you an excuse to do more storylines with those characters.
Yeah. And yeah, we're at time here, but one villain that you want to see come back from the original series.
One villain that I want to see come back from the original series.
Mine's Omega Red.
Omega Red would be cool. Omega Red was fun. Oh, you know what? Okay. Since they're doing all these new characters, one, I need Onslaught.
Mm-hmm.
And I need them to do not only Onslaught, but either later in the season or the next season have an excuse to do Red Onslaught. Because Red Onslaught was such a cool melding of Onslaught and Red Skull. And it took both the Avengers, and this could be an excuse to do an Avengers team up, but it took both the Avengers and the X-Men to stop Red Onslaught.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would be a really cool thing to bring in. Do a proper Shadow King series.
Yeah.
Like do something with Shadow King that shows that. Oh my, okay. You don't necessarily have to do House of M, but do the storyline from House of M where Magneto rips the adamantium out of Wolverine.
They did that.
Did they do that?
That's how he has his bone claws back.
Well, but I mean, they didn't. Did they show that on the show? Am I just like
it was just a still? But if you look at the intro, it's now the animated version of it.
Yeah, well, we'll see. That's what I'm saying is like do the actual like video of that or like do something of Magneto ripping the adamantium out of, like, if they're gonna do Onslaught, right? Ripping the adamantium out of Wolverine, and that forces Xavier to have a psychotic break that causes him to create Onslaught.
Fair.
Because I think that would be like if they go full on comic book and do the horrifying introduction of Onslaught, because God, that thing that is a fucking horror story.
Yep.
With the way that Onslaught gets created because of the psychological break that Xavier has, which proves again that Xavier is the fucking villain.
I think his psychotic break will come when Gambit's resurrected.
Yeah, they're saying they're not going to resurrect him. I'm pretty sure they are.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, there's no way they're not going to resurrect him.
Hands down. So
character and I went on a tangent, but character to bring back from season 1. It's hard to call which character I'd want them to bring back from season 1. Because there are just so many storylines that I feel just need to happen. Actually, now that I think about it, one of my favorite storylines was the Days of Future Past storyline in the first series.
Yeah,
when they had the relationship between Storm and Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
But take it a step further, I want to see them explore, because they made the show around the time that it happened in the comics, so it didn't end up happening in the show. But I want to see them do the T'Challa and Storm relationship, because again, they had like it was just happening in the comics when the show came out.
Correct.
And so they did not do it on the show. But they did introduce T'Challa as a character. I remember seeing Black Panther in one of the episodes, and he was wearing the cape and everything.
Yes.
And I would love to see them kind of explore that a little more.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. Well, we're past time.
Yeah. Let me show everybody what progress that I have before we get going here. So remember, I am building the Seinfeld apartment.
Yep.
So the kitchen is mostly done here. We have the bathroom's not on there, but the door where the bathroom is right here. And obviously his bedroom's down here, but they have the bike in the middle of it. And then his little computer room with a computer that has Vandelay Industries.
Nice.
It's got, I'm forgetting his name, but the dude that spit on them.
Oh, yeah.
And then on the other side, or he ended up not spitting on them, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, you have the how do I angle this right? The picture of the portrait of Kramer.
Yeah.
And then there is a picture of his uncle on the wall right there.
Nice.
Funny enough, I haven't gotten to it yet, but there is
Nice.
the sexy picture.
Yep.
And as far as minifigs, I have Elaine with the fish.
Yep.
I've got Kramer with his coffee table book about coffee table books.
Yep.
And a pretzel.
Nice.
And then again, Jerry doing stand up in front of the the at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all those right there. It looks like right now I'm building another piece of the kitchen. Right there. And yeah, so I mean, like again, I love it. There's like a whole bunch of little Easter eggs that are in here that are different pieces of the show. So, all right, let's switch cameras here. We'll do outros and then yeah, we'll get this whole thing going here. Gravy, let everybody know where they can find you, sir.
Yes, I am Graven, co-host of the Mostly Pilot Night Mostly podcast.
They mostly
Pod.
at night. Mostly.
Our 200th episode just dropped about an hour ago, so go check it out. It's all patriot porn horror because not The Purge, but yeah, we talked about Uncle Sam, The Bay, and Dark Skies. So yeah, it was a big event for us. Had some great Korean barbecue to celebrate for it. So check us out. And all social media, Pilot Night. Check out Conversation Void, assuming guests actually show up again. So
yeah. So because you guys didn't do the Purge,
mm-hmm.
Does that mean you guys have a Purge episode planned out
next year?
Next year. Okay. No, it's just, I mean, it doesn't have to be anything soon, but I mean, just to see like where you guys are with that. And
we'll be covering the Lake Placid series. Next 2 episodes.
Yes, and I remember you guys announcing that at the end of the last episode that you guys were going to be doing the Lake Placid, and that's why you didn't include Lake Placid in the Gator episode.
Yep.
My God, that last movie sound with what's his face?
Casper Van Dien.
With Casper Van Dien sounds absolutely horrible.
It was really, really, really bad.
Yeah, that just sounds so bad. Like no continuity whatsoever. Like, oh God, remember, anybody who writes a film with intention for it to be good.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like keeping that in mind when you see some of these movies come out, and it's like, what made you think that was a good idea?
Money.
Yeah, I guess.
Hey, if you bull can swindle governments out of millions of dollars, surely someone else can.
Wait, was that a Yui Bowl movie?
No, I'm just saying. If that's my mentality thinking is if I can convince a country to give me $20 million to make a shitty movie and pocket $19 million, I'll do it.
Oh yeah. I've got even more reason to not like Yui Bowl now after his latest movie came out. So yeah, just like cool. It's like, yeah, dude, you suck when it comes to making these movies, but then now I'm learning you suck as a person in general. Like, you made a whole movie about, hey, let's kill immigrants. Asshole. All right. Anyways, of course, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your boy Young Phil, Distance Nerding podcast. Of course, you are watching that right now. You can find us on all the places if it exists. We are there at Distance Nerding. Now, of course, we're not doing a show tomorrow, mainly because I am going to be in myself and JR are going to be in Reno. And we are getting ready to do another show. So this is going to be my big pitch for all of you before we get going here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you head over to Reno, Nevada, if you are able to, and head over to Silver Age Comic-Con at the Reno Sparks Convention Center, which is at the attached to the Atlantis Hotel. Come and check it out, guys. As far as guests go, Bruce Boxleitner is going to be there, who was Tron in Tron, as well as a couple of other things. He's been in a lot of other films and stuff like that. Bring Him Back Alive, Scarecrow and Mrs. King, Babylon 5, which was big because he was also John Sheridan on that. So that's, one of the big things on that. Joel Hodgson is going to be there.
I need him on my show.
I was going to say, what more can I say about Joel Hodgson? Not only is he, a legendary comedian, and he was on Freaks and Geeks and everything like that, but also, come on, guys, he's the guy who created Mystery Science Theater 3000. Ryota is going to be there, who was the Gal Ranger from Power Rangers Wild Force, but then also most famous for being Baragon in Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah. Tatsuma Nakamoto, who was Ultraman for like the longest time, and I believe he was also Titanosaurus in Terror of Mechagodzilla. Leah Clark is going to be there. A super talented voice actress. She's a One Piece, Soul Eater, My Hero Academia. She's all kinds of crazy things. And then here's another one I'm going to get you excited for right here, man. Guy Agostini is going to be there. It's our boy Sunspot. Yeah, it's our boy Sunspot from X-Men 97. I did it in the promo video, but I was so excited because I was like, Guy Agostini, fresh off that badass X-Men 97 premiere, so it's like, because he killed it in that first episode. And then of course Tom Cook is going to be there. Man has animated my entire childhood. He did the Godzilla cartoon, Super Friends, Scooby-Doo, Smurfs, Pac-Man, Flintstones. Thundar the Barbarian. He's been in all kinds of stuff. And then of course, a really big name for me here, Paul Blake. I'm going to ask him who shot first.
I mean, we know the answer.
Yeah, but I mean,
Han shot first.
But coming from coming from Greedo himself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like asking Greedo himself, who shot first? Right. And we will get a definitive answer because Greedo is gonna say, yeah, no, that motherfucker shot me way before I tried to pull my gun out.
He did.
But yes, ladies and gentlemen, make your way over to the Reno Sparks Convention Center. It's going to be this entire weekend, the 11th and the 12th. We will see everybody there. We're going to be running the stage like we always do, and come and have fun with us at Reno. We're probably going to find other ways to do more shows. That's right. Marvel Meetup is happening at 1:00 on Saturday. There's also going to be. I think there's Pokemon. There's going to be Pokemon bingo, and then there's another meetup with a couple of other friends. But I mean, yeah, there's a lot going on, guys. So make your way over to Reno if you're able to make it down there. All right, there's my big pitch. With that being said, as always, thanks and keep nerding together, guys. We will see everybody next week.
Bye.
Wrong button.